Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland Transfer Deadline Day Special Part 2. I'm Gooner Gimli, and today I will be joined by, first up, he's the fat man and producer of the show, it's Danny the GFP.
I have to be here.
You have to be here. Well, you don't want to be called GFP no more?
That's my car, isn't it? My car's the German flower pot, not me.
But why is your ad name is the GFP?
Because
so you are Danny the GFP.
No, I don't know.
You've always been Danny the GFP. It's like me changing my name to Gormley.
Don't at me, bro.
You twat. Right, I shall introduce to you now my fine panellists for the next half an hour. First up, it's Issa. Hello, Issa.
Hello, it's Issa, man.
Have I said that right?
Issa.
Issa.
Yeah.
Like Visa without the V.
Exactly. As delicious as well.
And I understand you're joining us all the way from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm joining you from Saudi. Big Gooner out here.
Have we ever had any Saudis on, Danny?
I don't think we have, but if we better be careful, he might buy us.
They're breaking new ground.
He'll buy us and ruin us.
I've been trying to lobby for a buyer to buy the club for the past few years, but you know the oil prices have been down, and so
hostile takeover.
I don't know. I don't think he should buy the club. Or maybe what if he bought ABW?
Where's he going to get 10 quid from?
I'm sure we could sort him a deal, couldn't we?
Baby steps, gentlemen. Baby steps. You can work through it.
I'll introduce to you my next guest. Our next guest comes to you in the way of Jojo. Hello, Jojo.
Hello, Gimli. How are you?
I'm not too bad at all, thank you. And where are you based?
I'm in Germany, in Neubrandenburg, and you've got no fucking clue where that is. It's near Berlin, to say it that way.
I've no idea where that is at all.
Yeah, I guess you probably can't even pronounce it.
No, definitely not.
It didn't help that he broke up a little bit as he said it, but it sounded like Gob Gibble Glob.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
That's what me and Kate got up to last night.
I guess it was lovely.
Right, I shall introduce to my next guest. Hello, Josh.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad at all. Whereabouts are you based?
Brighton.
Brighton, see?
Yeah, right next to the sea.
Like I said before the podcast, it's like FIFA. We've got people everywhere. And speaking of everywhere, I'd like to welcome back Steve. You might have remembered him he was an original ABW panelist, and he was on the podcast a fortnight ago. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon from very dark and deepest Eastern Europe in Warsaw, Poland.
Is it all snowy there, like a winter wonderland?
No, we did have a winter wonderland, but it's now gone away. It's +8 degrees, but it's still bloody dark.
Sounds very, very miserable.
So it's gone from a winter wonderland to a Bergkamp wonderland, hey? Hey?
Yeah. Yes. I love it. I see what you did there.
Hey.
Our next guest, hello, Pete. You've been a long-time fan of the show.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for having us. Again.
Lovely to have you on.
He's had more questions asked than any other human in the history of podcasting, and they're all good.
Yes. Definitely so. And I should introduce to you our last guest. He comes in the way of Tyrone. You might have remembered Tyrone from last show. He was mainly anonymous. Hello, Tyrone.
Much like Theo.
Yes.
He's the Theo of the podcast.
Yes. You are the Theo of the podcasting world. And the good news is Kate will be with us in about 10-15 minutes time to just give us an update on all the transfers that have happened in the Premier League today around Arsenal Football Club. So where do we start off then, boys? Steve, I think I'm going to start with you. Your feelings today around the transfer window? I doubt there's any expectation there from you on what you think Arsenal are going to do, but it's still always a bit disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the whole hype of it's been vastly overrated by Sky from the days of the mobs of insanely overexcited and heavily sugared youth outside stadiums assaulting Sky's reporting staff with various sexual toys to the glum state of affairs we've got today. I mean, there's never been more money available in the Premier League, but hardly any real big deals have gone through at all. So it's all a bit of a bit of a sort of a limp response, a bit like a 70-year-old trying to get his end away after 3 pints, really.
Yeah, like trying to. I think I used the analogy last year. Like it's like trying to thumb in a softie. That's my definition of Arsenal in the transfer window.
And if you don't know what that is, kiddies, don't ask your parents, for fuck's sake.
And definitely do not Google it.
And don't Google Bukaki either, because I did and I wish I hadn't.
Issa, we'll go to you next. I'd like your thoughts on today. Did you expect Arsenal to do anything? Did you not expect Arsenal to do anything?
Really, my expectations were raised a little bit at the start of the season, the transfer window, when Arsene Wenger started talking about how busy he was going to be during the transfer window. Before then, I wasn't really expecting much, but after he had mentioned as much, I was expecting a little bit more than just El Neni, but I think we'll be fine until the end of the season with the squad we have. So I won't be too surprised if, though he did raise my expectations, I'll be honest, when he started talking about how much activity there could potentially be this transfer window.
I mean, he did speak quite highly, saying that he was in the market for one and quite possibly two. We know that one to be Mohamed El Nene. Jojo, did you expect anything more from us?
I did, as well as Issa. I thought we would sign at least 2 players because Wenger spoke very positively about our chances in the transfer window. But to be honest, when the deal with Anani took so long because of the work permit, it became less likely, in my opinion. And in addition to that, nobody really became available. Last year we had the Draxler rumor, and that didn't work out. And this year there was basically nothing apart from the stupid stuff that the media usually make up.
And Jojo, you alluded there to it's the same old from Arsenal and Arsene Wenger, the whole there's no one available spiel. Steve, you've worked in business. Is that just business talk, or is that him just trying to cover his arse?
Sorry, say again, Gib. What did you say there?
The whole there's nobody available. Surely, I mean, we can't believe that, can we? That's if you were to tell me that there was no one in the whole of the world that was available that could strengthen our squad. And when I say available, I don't necessarily mean on transfer market, but putting in bids here, there, and everywhere, testing the waters. Surely we can do that, couldn't we?
Yeah, we can do. I think Wenger just doesn't want to say that he's interested in any players anywhere, because the minute he does, the price goes up. I also think it puts, if they're under contract, it puts their existing clubs backed up. There's also a lot to be said for the fact that Arsenal fuck other teams around when they're trying to buy players immensely, and the minute they know it's Arsenal's after their player, it turns the player's head, and the club get pissed off because Arsenal then try and shortchange them and stiff them. There's plenty of players out there that we could have bought, but is there anybody out there who's better than what we've got, who's not going to cost us £60 million to buy and the same in wages?
It's a very good point. Josh, is there anyone out there in that bracket that Steve said?
Sorry, what was that, Gim? I get an echo.
Yeah, I think we've got bad feedback there from somebody. But what I was saying is, Steve said that is there anybody out there that can improve the team that isn't going to cost us 60 million? Josh?
I don't think we really need to get anyone in this transfer window, to be honest, other than El Nene to replace injured players and the 3 that are leaving at the end of the season. We've got plenty of backup in places. I was more looking forward to seeing where the people we're trying to get rid of are going. So Nabry's obviously potentially coming quite local to me. Like to get a good look at him in the flesh. But other than that, I thought, we don't need it. Man City haven't been that, haven't really dipped into the transfer market at all, really. Over here. And the only reason Leicester have is because they've got to build for a European season that they didn't expect at the beginning of the season. They just don't have the squad. Hence, they're spunking money left, right, and centre.
So, Pete, you're a person that likes to ask a lot of questions into the podcast, and very good ones you ask too. Would you say that questions need to be answered if nobody else is brought in, or do you think we go with what we've got and the players that are returning from injuries?
The questions will have to be asked if we don't win anything. Certainly the last two transfer windows have been a joke to me. A goalkeeper and one player which no one's really heard of. It's not really title-winning performance, really, if you know what I mean.
No, definitely so. Tyrone, a lot of people have said we're still kind of reeling from the summer, and Arsenal being the only team in Europe not to buy an outfield player. Do you think we are still reeling from the summer?
Well, I think that was really showing in the last few games. I think the midfield that we had to work with, given with the injuries that we have, it reached its limit, and we kind of saw that, and that it kind of harks back to the same old thing, right? What happens if we don't back up in the summer? And we kind of saw. I mean, look at the last few games. I mean, a possible 9. For me, that's acceptable. Yeah, I'm still hurting about it. And you wonder if he had bought a El Neni or someone similar in the summer, would we have dropped those points? Would we have held on to that game against Liverpool? Would that have made a difference against Stoke? You know?
No, it's a very good point. Danny, you've sat there quiet so far. You've heard what everybody has to say so far. Have your opinions on it changed? Or are you still one big angry fat man?
I'm a big... Oh, Stephen has finally managed to join us after having technical issues. I'm just crying on the inside and being fat on the outside.
And Stephen...
He's in Basingstoke, I think.
Stephen in Basingstoke, are you dead inside? Quite clearly so, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh dear.
Good answer. That said it all, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of how we're feeling. The little boy inside has gone silent.
That's I tweet. Oh, and Kate's here, and I tweeted Theo. I'm ashamed of myself. I tweeted Theo after not the last game, but the one before that, and I said, "Remember Theo, the little boy inside you is a Liverpool fan."
Oh, cheers.
And I thought, what if he moves and he says, "This is why I moved," and then he goes to Liverpool and scores 50 a season.
Saying that, Danny,
his living room.
you are responsible for Dennis Bergkamp and his fine run of form. He could have, ruined his career within 2 years at Arsenal, but your abuse from the sidelines really made him kick it on in those years.
I shouted, "Sort your fucking life out, Bergkamp," and he did. Well, he signed a new contract, and then miraculously, that contract made him go back to playing brilliantly again. It's just at the end of his 3rd season.
Yes.
Before he's waiting for a new contract.
The rest is history. Kate, I understand you've joined us.
She's on mute.
She's dead inside as well. Aren't we all? It's like a cemetery of death.
Oh, she's unmuted.
She's unmuted. No, she's muted again. Hello,
No,
Kate?
she's not.
She is here.
The only female voice that is coming on all day because no other female Gooners want to come on. If you do, let us know, for fuck's sake.
Not at all.
Yes. We need some lady Gooners on here. Kate, you've been staying close to transfer deadline day all day and looking at the moves from all the other clubs. Would you like to update us on what's happened so far today?
You've probably actually already discussed most of it, to be
Oh,
fair.
I bet you we haven't.
Okay, so the first one I've got is, I do apologise if I do a Danny on any of these names. First one is Ebu Adams, who has moved from Dartford to Norwich. Big move. Who knows? Never heard of him. Sorry.
I
Chris probably doesn't know about him.
I'd rather live in Norwich than Dartford. It's a shithole.
Yeah, but in Norwich, you have to sleep with your relatives.
Well, depends what they look like.
Some sisters are pretty. I haven't got a sister personally. Kate?
What's she
No,
doing?
she's disgusted with you, and she's probably packing
She's
her
packed
bags.
her bags. She's fucking off. I look out the window. She's crashing down the road.
Oh no!
Oh, damn.
What? Can you not hear me?
I can hear you
Now we
now.
can.
Gimli's in trouble.
Okay. The next one is Sado Doumbia, who's got a loan move from Roma to Newcastle. Don't know anything about him either, so that
He's
means
fucking
nothing to me.
quick.
Yeah, on FIFA, Danny.
Oh, 90%, isn't it?
FIFA doesn't count, Danny.
He's a 93 pace on FIFA.
But FIFA's not real life, as Jeff says.
No, it's not real life. It's just a game.
The
Assault.
next one, before I choke, sorry, is Alex Pritchard, who has gone on a loan move from Spurs to West Brom.
Dirty Middlesex cunt.
Couldn't have said any better. Stoke have completed the signing of Porto midfielder Gianelli Mbula. He's reported to be on an £18.2 million deal with add-ons plus 15% of any future transfer. I think that's probably one of the biggest. Everton have agreed a fee for Oumar Niassi. I apologise. He's a Senegalese international and £13 million. There hasn't actually been a lot going on today, to be honest. Well, not in the Premier League. Klopp has come out and said there'll be no new signings for Liverpool before the end of the transfer deadline.
You cunt.
So Klopp's doing a Wenger.
Yes.
Ayoze Perez has signed a new 5.5-year contract with Newcastle. Oh, there's some reports going around that Alan Pardew, yes, Lucy, Alan Pardew is going in for John Terry. Whether that will happen,
That
whether
would be
that's
quite
true.
something.
What, 2-footed? That'd be great to see.
Hopefully, John Terry's going into Mrs. Pardew.
Oh. Wouldn't surprise me. He's got form. Ugh.
Actually, so's Pardew on that front, players' wives as well. Like a right fucking pair.
Oh, boy.
Literally.
Right, so where do we go from here in terms of the transfer window then? Yeah, it's not very good, is it? It's always quiet at this time of day. We've
I think you'll
got
find for Arsenal, mate, it's going to be quiet all day, every day for the entire of January and the first day of February.
I don't even know where we do these anymore. I will ask the people that are listening to this for some questions then. If you've got anything you want answered, we've got 10 minutes. We'll spend the last 10 minutes answering some listener questions. If you want a question to a particular member of the panel tonight, just put their name and I will ask it. But let's see what's going on down the chat box on the side then.
We didn't
We've
discuss Guardiola.
We could discuss Guardiola. Is the rest of the Premier League fucked now? Manchester City have got Guardiola, Steve?
You won't hear questions like that on TalkSport.
No.
Not at all. Because I mean, if you look at the fact that Silva's 31, Yaya Touré's 31, and only likes to play for 10 minutes of the game in between making demands for cakes, collecting 250 grand a week. You know, I mean, Guardiola's got a bit of a job to do because he's going to have to chuck out some players. He's going to have to lend out players who are earning a lot of money, which means City are going to have to fund their wages. They've got to keep their homegrown element up, and at the same time, he's got to try and bring in the players he wants. And he's also got, I think, for the first time, to play in a league where every team on its day can beat every other team. So it's not like playing in Spain or where you're managing Barcelona and you've only got to worry about Madrid really, or maybe Valencia or one other team, or if you're Bayern, you know, he's going to have a hard issue. And of course, the most amusing thing is that if City do well in the Champions League, they could end up being drawn against Bayern. So you could have Pellegrini versus Guardiola, two managers of the same side facing each other.
Good point.
It's a very good point. Right.
Sorry, Jim, can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Well, how do you think the players are going to react now for Man City knowing there's going to be a new manager at the new season?
I thought about that because quite often when you'd think that if Wenger said I'm quitting, then Wenger would be they'd all play their arse off for Wenger. But quite often when a manager says he's going to leave, like halfway through the season, then he then leaves a little while after that, and the team go on to do fuck all. I think it might have done us a favour.
Look at what happened at United when Ferguson announced he was retiring to the team. They all fucking gave up. So, but I actually think a lot of them are playing for their contracts. So I don't see the likes of the older players doing that because they're not going to get those wages elsewhere.
No. I think you've got to look at it as well. It can go one of two ways. They've got quite a rapport with Pellegrini and they want to win the title for him in his last season, or they go, oh well, he's going, we won't bother. But you know, a lot's yet to be seen. What do you make of it, Pete?
Either go either way, really, can't it, really? Some players might be fighting for their place in the team, or if they know they're going to be going, because there's been reports that Yaya Toure is going to be going now, because he doesn't get on with Pep.
No, very true. It could cause ructions.
I really hope they tank it. I hope they. This is another reason for them to not try in matches, which they've been doing a lot of this season. I hope this is like the nail in the coffin, and they just stop bothering. Basically, which they can, you know, they have a tendency to do every so often during matches. Pep Guardiola might be something we need to worry about next season, but for now, I think maybe this announcement does us a favor. You know, and to be speaking, just staying on Manchester City for a few more seconds, I thought it's a little bit strange. I mean, we're talking about our lack of activity during the transfer window. They're going on the presumption that Aguero is going to stay fit for the rest of the season. You know, I mean, I'm really surprised that they haven't tried to do anything regarding their striker situation. It's one of the reasons why we've been able to stay so close to the top is Aguero and company haven't been able to stay fit for any considerable amount of time, and you know the fact that they're willing to take that risk on Sergio. I really hope this blows back in their face in the very next fixture.
I think what's blown up in their faces is their away form, and who's the young kid they've got who they bring on?
Iheanacho?
Yeah, and he comes off the bench and scores every time. I mean, I'd heard stories coming out there saying that the reason they deliberately hadn't bought anybody because they wanted to give him game time because they think he shows great prowess, etc., etc. And let's be fair, it goes back to the reason why Arsenal are not buying a striker because there's no one out there for sale. That's not going to cost you £60 million in transfer fees and another 50 in wages.
Yeah, and City have got Boney, who isn't as bad as some people make him.
He's not bad.
And in the end, Aguero is going to be fit for some games, and in that games he is going to score. He's the best striker in the Premier League. I don't think there's really any discussion about that. And because of that, I think City will absolutely spank the whole of the Premier League next year. You know, for 1 year when everything's new with Guardiola and no one quite knows how to win against the Guardiola team, with the amount of money City has available, they are going to run away with it. And because of that, we have to stake a claim this year, because next year we are going to be done. We have to settle for top 4 place. I'd like top 3, because if you look at what Guardiola did at Bayern, no one ever had the slightest of chances against Bayern this and last year, and it's very poor of Guardiola not to be able to finish the season unbeaten in Germany because the level of the opposition of Bayern is so low. It's unbelievable. I mean, Augsburg bet them last year, and they are not as good as any mid-table team in England.
I think City have tried to address the striker issue, though. I mean, look at when they snatched the Jovetic deal from us. They had Negredo.
Yeah. They had a very. That's very true. It's very true.
But they never worked out. You know, it never worked out. Half of them can't stay fit. Jovetic comes to mind. I think he was a great striker when he was fit. And then look how quick they got rid of him, you know. And then more recently, Wilfred Boney. So,
would you guys say that our in terms of the strikers we have a deeper and a better quality set of strikers? I mean, when you add Giroud, Welbeck, Walcott, then we can even have Sanchez or Campbell play there. I mean, compared to Aguero, Bonnie, and the third guy, the Nigerian kid. I mean, in terms of the depth of quality, I like our chances a lot better than theirs.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, those players you just mentioned, especially like Welbeck comes to mind. They're more well-rounded. They can play not just striker. A lot of them can play on the flanks as well. Can't really say that about Jovetic or Bony, right?
Very true.
Imagine Boney on the flanks. It would be great.
Danny, we've got a
Oh, I'm just abusing someone on Twitter.
Oh, fair enough. A question from you. Do they deserve it?
Some fat fuck got a Kit Kat and it had no wafer in it, so she's decided she wants to sue Kit Kat and she wants Kit Kats for life. I put that fat fuck needs to lay off the chocolate. I should know, as I'm slim and stealth-like.
You can't mention Kit Kats on this show with Jason about.
Oh no!
4-finger discount. Thomas Shelley asks you, Daniel, Danny, whatever, GFP. How would you? Who? I think it's who would you sell in the summer realistically?
Oh yeah, I saw he tweeted you and me that saying that we need to talk about that because fuck all's happening now. Well, you're going to have Rosicki's going to go, Arteta's going to go, Flamini's going to go. I would sell Theo because there's going to be some mug. Hopefully, it'll go to the Euros of England. He'll score 5 goals in 2 games or something like that. He'll look impressive, and some mug club like Man City, because they'll want English players to fill their quotas, or
60 million quid for him.
Yeah, I'd take 25 for him. So yeah, I just think Theo, and I want Washek gone as well because I don't want that clown at our club fucking shit up.
Kate, are you there?
I am.
I have a question for you from Daniel Cronin. How many on AFTV will have a stroke the next time Arsenal lose?
Depends if they can reach or not.
I was going to say, is it of each other?
What a daisy chain!
I don't think Mo will be doing that. You've got to remember he is our equalities officer, even though he is homophobic, allegedly.
Oh, I hate that prick. I hate that prick.
But what we should do is the next episode of the podcast. We should not just sit here and talk about transfers. Just talk about the people on Twitter that we don't like.
That's the whole hour, Jim.
I genuinely enjoy that. I would.
Can we get it sponsored by Intersit and a free washing machine thrown in?
Yes.
Has Stephen said anything yet? Can he speak?
Can you speak, Stephen?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, fuck me.
He's alive.
There.
Jesus, I thought he died inside.
Right, ask him, Stephen, who would you want us to sign in this window and who do you want to get rid of before we run out of time?
Well, to be honest with you, I think Theo Walcott's really got to go now. I mean, I agree with you boys in that respect. I've wanted him to do well for as long as I can remember. And, you watch him play, but he's just not clinical enough. So many times, I mean, I think in the FA Cup on Saturday he was through on goal at the end and missed and
fell over.
All he had to do was square it to Al Neni, and literally the old boy buckled him.
The guy's out of form though.
He's been
low on confidence. I mean, 1 or 2 chances per se, and how he misses them, I don't think is going to be the end all. But the thing about Theo is the frustration is the fact that when he came, there was so much expectation, and now what he's producing on a consistent level is just not what we expected. I mean, I know it's not fair to him. He ended up being, a B grade player when we were expecting an A+ player, right? But he is a person. He is a player in the squad where we can improve. There's no doubt about that.
You've got to look at the fact he's been there 10 years. And the money that he's earning, I mean, it's absolute travesty that he's earning nearly the same money as Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez, not only is an attacker, he's a defender. Walcott doesn't defend. He's ill-disciplined. He won't stay where he's supposed to stay. He drifts in the middle. And he thinks because he hides during games and is nerve-wracked, and he is a bottler, is scared of getting injury, scared of contact, he thinks if he goes and all out to score a goal, that will take the focus off the fact of what he doesn't do. Well, it's very clear that isn't the case, because even Wenger's pointed out that today players have to do both defending and attacking.
Yeah.
And I think it was Issa just said he was an absolute disgrace against Burnley. Before the failure to pass to a teammate for a tap in, I mean, he was just we were playing with 10 men. He was just wandering or jogging around in midfield like some old tart on a Sunday walk down the park.
But to be fair, our best run of form has come with Walker up front. In October against Man United as well as against Bayern Munich, he was up front, and we were quite brilliant those days. I don't know if it has something to do with Theo or with the form we were in, or with Alexis not being injured and Cochran not being injured. But our best results have come with Theo up front.
Yeah, but you got to also take the point. Look at Giroud. I mean, Giroud goes back and defends at corners, defends at dead balls. He runs back and tackles people from behind. He defends, and he's a forward. Now, Walcott can't just have one position. He's got to be able to give more to the team.
Don't get me wrong. I think Giroud is superior to Walcott, but in all the slating he's getting, we have to consider that he was in form, and he was very good when he was in form, even though he didn't score a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think the argument is not that Theo is very good. I think the argument is he someone that we can improve on? And I think compared to a lot of the other positions, I think we can improve on. I mean, if he wants to be a bench player and he wants to come in every 70 minutes, fine. But having him sometimes on the pitch, I'm not as frustrated with the Burnley match as much as the Chelsea match when he was playing up front, and he just kept on trying the same old things consistently, even though the defenders were picking him up on it. And switch it up, change, try something different. He'll just keep trying the same things. He has like one trick, and that's it.
Yeah, he just kept running into defenders, didn't he?
Precisely. What was that, man? Try something else. Pass it off. Hold off.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no difference between what Theo was doing in the Burnley game, what Giroud was doing. Giroud was just as awful, but we're not saying sell him.
Yeah,
I mean, terrible. He didn't do anything that was worth of note, really.
He did. He had this great flick on when we scored our second goal.
He was
I think it was
he tried that 7 times in that game, and it came
I
off
don't
once.
think he had one shot in the game. I
He
don't
was
think he had
awful.
one shot. in the
Yeah,
game.
but the difference between Giroud and Walcott is that Giroud offers something when he isn't playing that well.
Yes.
Walcott,
he offers.
just
They
picks
both
up
offer something in
with
defence.
the opposite team.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
Right, boys. We are at our 30 minutes. I see there's a lot of questions there, and many more I could have asked. But if you stick with us, we'll be back at 6 p.m. And who have we got on the 6 p.m. show, Danny?
Ryan Hennick, Akshay and Drew, Tom and Chris, and the elusive Mr. Fucker Hanaj.
Is he back?
FK could be making an appearance, and also
If his wife allows him out.
well, he's now a kept man.
He
Yeah,
is
but
a
he
kept
said
man.
he says thank you very much for inviting me. I thought, well, thank you very much for turning up. So hopefully he'll be there. I'm not sure if he knows how. Yeah, he does know. Well, I'm sure he knows how to use Hangouts. So at the moment, it only looks like
Believe
there's
you me, he's
6.
hung out of enough birds in his time to know.
Oh dear,
Um,
that's the words of Steve.
So on that
Okay.
note, thank you very much to all of my guests on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Danny, you have to be here. So that was a Transfer Deadline Day podcast special part 2.
Gim,
Thank you. What?
get everybody to say happy birthday to my mum, and I'll play it back to her.
Okay. Everybody say
birthday,
happy birthday to Danny's mum.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny's mum.
Happy birthday, Danny's mum.
Oh, potato moogie!
Oh, what good to get a van to be with no fucking wheels?
Oh, cheers, everyone.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple of hours.
See you later.
Very much.
Bye-bye.
fun.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.